Hi everyone and welcome back. What you see is kind of a pie cake or a cake pie. This is apple pie cake. And it's really cool because we're going to make it. It's got lots of apples. And you don't need a crust. You're going to make it yourself. It's really simple. So let's get to it right now. Of course, our main ingredient is going to be our apples. We'll get a bowl out. I think 4 apples should be enough to fill our pie plate. I've got my cutting board with a knife, and now we just have to chop our apples up. We're not even going to peel these guys. That's how easy this apple pie is. But we're just going to kind of cut them so that we don't, we'll try and not use the core, and I'm going to have to do a little trimming. There, so we've got all our pieces of apples. I'm going to get that little bit of core out of the middle. I really like these McIntosh apples because they got a red tinge to them. I'm going to see later on one's got a really red tinge to it. And we're just going to break them up into pieces like that. Dump them in the bowl, and we'll go on to our next one. And our next one. And here comes a red one right here. Look at how red that is. That's so cool. Then I decided, you know what? How about we go with an extra one? Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dump them in the pie plate. And I thought, yeah, that's not enough apples. Sometimes it's hard to tell how many apples you really need. So I decided to go with one more, all chopped up. And this did not take long at all. They're looking good. So we're going to spice these up just a little bit. That's a tablespoon of sugar and a tablespoon of cinnamon. Well, ish. I'm just kind of shaking it out here. There we go. And that's going to be lots to coat. So now we just kind of mix her all around. Mix, 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 mix. Make sure they're all covered just like that. And aside it goes. Now let's get out our pie plate. Grease it up, of course. Give it a quick spray. You don't want, all the apples and that sticking to the plate. So we're good to go. Now watch this. There you go. Just dump her in. And we're more than half done at this point. That's pretty cool. You want them nice and even. So there's our apples. Let's put them aside. Now I'm using the same bowl. I'm not even going to clean it out because basically there's just cinnamon and sugar in it. And I'm going to use that anyway. So next up we want 2 eggs. Just like that. Next up is a ½ cup of sugar. Just like that. And we're going to mix that around. Okay, next up is a ½ cup of milk. And we'll give that a little mix around. And that is 1 cup of flour. And we're going to mix it until it gets about the consistency of pancake batter. In goes a teaspoon of baking powder. And just because, and this is optional of course, teaspoon of vanilla. And listen, that's just about everything. So we mix her all up nice and good and see how it's nice and smooth. That's all there is to it. Okay. Here comes our apples. And we're just going to pour the batter on top. This is really fun. And, apple season, this is the way to go, I think. If you're no good at making pie crust. Or like my daughter doesn't like the pre-made ones. She'd rather do it for real. But anyway, we've got that ready to go. We're going to put out a baking sheet just in case there's a spillover. Into the oven is going to go 350, about 30 minutes. And now we're going to check it just to make sure it's okay. We'll grab our trusty toothpick. And it looks okay, but yeah, it hasn't come out completely clean. We're going to put it back in the oven for 10 minutes. And when it comes back out, it looks a lot more golden brown to me. Let's try our toothpick. Now that looks much better, so we'll just check it in a couple spots, just in case. Yep, we're good to go. And that is it. Now we gotta let it cool so that I can cut it. I also have to wait because I'm bringing this to my sister's. So I don't actually get to have it until after dinner out at her place. So we're going to wrap it up with some tin foil, bring it out there, and we'll warm it up and we'll have it for dessert after dinner. Got to get the mitts because the pie plate's still pretty hot. So here we are at my sister's. Out it comes, out of the oven. We've just been keeping it warm. Ooh, there it is. Yummy. That looks really good. And I guess at this point, if you want to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top or cinnamon or whatever, you could. Nothing's stopping you at all. Now, the good thing is it's an apple pie, but it cuts and goes on the plate like a cake. So there you go. Look at that. Very cake looking. But it's time to give her a try. And it's really nice. So when it's apple season, this is something you definitely want to try. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And hit the bell because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this in any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.